everybody. Who's ready for some semi-intelligent conversation about sports, pop culture, and whatever else comes into our little brains during the show? If you raise your hand, then you are in the right place, because we are coming at you extra saucy today on this very cold Monday here in sunny Mansfield. I'm Brian Skronsky, and this is the OH.Report video podcast. And on today's show, we've got an all-new talk of the town. We've got your Friday night Phenoms, top plays, goal of the week, and 5 good minutes with each of us. We'll also check in with the Fighting Dave Carrolls over there at Clear Fork, see what the Colts have to offer. Like I said, I'm Brian. This is Hayden, and now that you're a part of the new Fighting Trubisky's over there in Pittsburgh Steeler country, how are you feeling about your quarterback situation? What's up?
Man, I was ready to see what Kenny could bring change to the team. Unfortunately, gets knocked out and has a concussion, but Mitch came in with some fire under him, so we'll take it.
Yeah, the Ohio native actually looked pretty good, man. I was happy that he wasn't thinking too much. Looked like he was just playing some football. Over here, we've got G-Man and Storm. Hey, Lions had an off day yesterday, Storm, so at least you didn't have to sit through any misery, man.
Yeah, bye week, so better than a loss, but I know Garrett's Vikings getting done.
Oh, I know it.
How about that?
It feels great. They're pretty ugly wins, but hey, we're sitting at 5-1. I can't complain.
Wins are wins, something my team knows nothing about. That's why I don't have on a Browns shirt today. But a lot of guys here in the area, they do know about winning. They know about some big-time performances. So let's roll right into our Friday Night Phenom nominees from week number 9. Lots of crazy performances by our local athletes from week 9 of the high school football season. These are the best of the best, your Friday Night Phenoms. Well, Centerburg fans, get to work, because here's the first nominee. He needs no introduction as a staple on our countdown for the last 2 seasons. It's Trojan quarterback Tyler Johnson, who put up over 300 yards of total offense and rushed for, 6 touchdowns as the Trojans clinched at least a share of the K-Mac title and at least one home game as well in the postseason. What a night for the senior standout.
Might as well end the video now. We all know who I think is going to come home with this week's Phenom boning. But 6 total rushing touchdowns and over 300 yards. Wow. Those stats don't matter. Tyler Johnson definitely deserves it this one. We might as well just give it to him now.
We can't give him the crown just yet, but I'm sure the fans will get him there eventually because he went off. Checking in now at nominee number 2 is Clear Fork's Colt Victor Skoog, who had another marvelous night in the Valley. The senior completed 6 of 11 passes for a $119, rushed for 193 more yards, and piled on 4 scores, all while capping off his performance with a defensive touchdown via an interception. The Colts will now head to Highland Week 10 to compete for the MOAC Championship.
Colt Nation always shows up and out at the game, so come on, you gotta have to show out if you want to beat a Centerburg Trojan. Get this guy some votes for his performance.
Skoog with a huge night, all those touchdowns in a large win against the Whippets. Nominee number 3 has been solid all season long. It's Hayden Kuhn, the game manager from the Crestview Cougars. The senior QB knew what was at stake on Saturday night against St. Paul, so he put on one of the most spectacular performances yet, dropping dimes left and right as the Cougars claimed the Firelands Conference title yet again.
Kuhn was dropping dimes all over the place and making rivals St. Paul look silly all night. Whether it was his poise or his precision accuracy, Crestview's QB had a field day.
Never easy to go on the road at Contractor Stadium and win as a visitor, but that's exactly what Hayden Kuhn was able to do, leading his Cougars to a huge victory in a championship on the road. Senior night at Arlen Field provided senior running back Ricky Mills with the juice he needed to run through Mount Vernon like they were sweat bees instead of yellow jackets. Ricky toted the rock 12 times, racked up 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was pulverizing any yellow jacket who dared to get close to him. It's a good thing it's almost Halloween, because Ricky, he turned a ton of potential Mount Vernon third down stops into ghosts. Because it's all treats with this TY Tiger who needed no tricks to make our list of nominees. Ricky Mills with a special performance on a big night for the senior. Coming in at number 5 is Bucyrus Jr. Blaine Bardo, who had a huge night on the road with 25 carries, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On 1 touchdown, Bardo ran for 75 yards, finding the end zone with a full pack of bucks hot on his tail, showcasing that ever so deadly speed.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was just doing it all night long, and play after play after play, he was just turning on the Jets, leaving defensive players in his wake, as you see right here on the screen, just go and ghost. This dude had a special night.
Blaine Bardo carrying his team to a big win. Our final nominee rolled senior night at Fredericktown, where running back Tegan Rule needed just 14 carries to eclipse the 200-yard mark, piecing out for a 4-pack of scores and a win over Cardington Lincoln, with Tegan being both the opener and the closer for the Freddies.
Rule seems to be on the Phenom list week in and week out as he carried the Freddies on his back to escape a visiting Pirate win down there in Fredericktown on senior night.
That's right, 4 big scores for Tegan as he keeps the Freddies well in the thick of things for the playoff hunt down there in Fredericktown. Those are your Friday Night Phenom nominees from week number 9. Now it's up to you, the fans, to decide who had the most impressive performance of the week. Hey, and remember, fans out there, that you can double dip right here live on the podcast. Get in your votes, but make sure that you indicate if you're voting for the Phenom or for the top play, or we might start penalizing you. We're going to throw out the yellow flag if you don't tell us which one that you're voting for. So it does say that right in the comments section. If you're going to vote, make sure that you tell us which one that you want to vote for. And I see already, of course, votes rolling in for Tyler Johnson. So do we just put a wrap on this thing? Do we just call up Tyler and let him know he's the Phenom?
Honestly.
Unbelievable. Although Hayden Kuhn getting in on the mix too, so make sure, make your voice heard, get in your vote, make it count. All right, you can do the same thing for the top plays of the week. Here's your nominees. Every single week, our cameras pick up amazing plays. These are the best of the best from week 9 of the high school football season. Leading off our nominees this week is Shelby Whippet Miles Hall, putting his speed on full display during this kickoff return while the Colts could not corral him. Hall took the ball 85 yards to the house for a Whippet's touchdown, which was the highlight of the first half for this Shelby squad.
Always big when you can get a score on special teams, but it wasn't going to be enough for the Whippets, who would get just absolutely tangled up by the Colts on this one.
But they started off the game in style. Miles Hall weaving his way through traffic and then turning on the afterburners as he hits the sideline for the score. Our second nominee joins the list from our Saturday night game, where the Cougars are going to execute some trickery. Owen Barker takes the give, he fakes it, and rolls out to connect with Sean Bailey, who fights his way into the end zone to pull off a gutsy fake punt call for Crestview.
Talk about the guts on this way to pull it out on the road against a big conference rival. Barker just threw it up to Bailey, who did the rest with a yak in the end zone for 6.
Pretty solid throw there as well by the punter. And as mentioned, the rest done by the run. Your number 3 nominee is Bucyrus Jr. Blaine Bardo, who ran through a pack of raging Bucks, escaping untouched and finding the end zone on a 75-yard haul for 6. This play is all about top-end speed, something Bardo showcases after wiggling into the second level.
Yeah, Blaine Bardo somehow just finding that space up the middle and then turning on the afterburners, go and goes all the way to the end zone, but not before getting sturdy there in the end zone. A little bit of the showboat action.
Yeah, we got to let this run all the way through, see the celebration at the end. Bardo having a good time with his boys, letting them have it. We've got a freshman cracking our list at nominee number 4 on a play you better pay attention to, or you just might miss the dramatics. You're going to look at Kalen Briggs, going to drop low here off the deflection to pull in a Cardington touchdown. Man, it's on the final play of the first half, too. The Pirates had themselves in a position to pull off the upset at Fredericktown, thanks in large part to this crazy play.
Briggs was special all night. This play was special, and he needed some special sauce to bring this one in, getting down low to keep the Pirates' chances alive at half.
Our next nominee features a go-ahead score on the road by the Upper Sandusky Rams, who you're going to see get a 61-yard dime piece from Caden Holman to Ethan Hill, who takes the smoke show into the end zone against the defending state champion Cary Blue Devils. We got to show this to you again for all the offensive play call gurus out there, and feast your eyes on the route combination against the zero coverage look, opening things up across the middle where Holman slings a double nickel into the bucket and Ethan running up that hill into pay dirt. Pop a couple of aspirin, because just watching this is sure to rattle your bones. Maybe not as bad as this poor young Yellow Jacket, who is now a permanent structure at Arlen Field after being planted there on Friday night by Tiger senior linebacker Ricky Mills. Legend has it that Ricky actually ate 11 live Yellow Jackets before the game to get ready, but after watching this hit, it may be more humane for him to just rip their wings off rather than bury them at midfield. Ricky Mills, man, you are a scary guy. Those are the best cuts from Week 9 of the high school football season. Head into the comment section below to make your vote right now.
Keep on feeding us those votes, people. They count for 2 right now. Just make sure you indicate if it's for the Phenom or the top play. Looks like you're doing a great job, and we've got some good back and forth going. I see Cougar Nation out there. They're watching, and they're making sure that their boys are getting some love. Well, Hayden, you called the Crestview game on Friday. They were pretty impressive, and I think you too. Was that your first call for a football game, play-by-play?
His first play-by-play, and then first football call in nearly a year and a half a season.
Wow. Well, I think it went well for you, so I think that's why we're going to let you lead off today's show. Let's see what you got for us. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start my conversation today with talking about an event taking place tonight that would have happened yesterday, but with the rain and everything that happened last week, the Guardian series with the Yankees has been, moved around a little bit. But big game tonight to take the series, and it's got to have to go back to New York after last night. Couldn't get the job done. Looked like there was going to be some setup for some late inning heroics yet again, but it just didn't happen, and it was a rough night. Quite the way for the Yankees to respond after the way that Oscar Gonzalez walked off Game 3. I think that it's going to be tough, but I've kind of been hesitant to want to get too excited. I hate when I'm one of those people. I got an ESPN alert this morning saying why the Guardians have an edge in tonight's game, because once you get to Game 5, it's kind of that bullpen pitching game. We have a really strong bullpen. It's like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that we weren't supposed to be here at all, and that they were picked keep that narrative going and don't jinx it. But I just want to quickly kind of get inputs. I know we say it every week when we do bring it up that we're not the biggest fanatics, but Brian, I'll start with you. What do you think needs to take place? Does it need to be another ninth inning heroics type occurrence, or what are your expectations for tonight?
I think that if it comes down to the wire, that we do have the edge. We've been there, we've done it, and we're making the big plays in the big moments because our guys, they're young, and they just don't know any better. Being on the road at Yankee Stadium is going to make it more of a challenge. It's got a lot of mystique to it, and the fans there, they'll let you have it. And we've seen some good back and forth and some John going with some of the Guardians players and the Yankees fans. I just feel like it's got to be a solid starting pitching performance to keep Cleveland in the game, and if it can be tied and or the Guardians with a slight edge at the end, I think that the analytics are correct. We got a great looking bullpen, we got some solid young players, so if it's a tight game towards the end, I certainly would favor the Guardians to get the win on the road. I don't see why there's any reason that we can't get it done and continue this storybook type of season.
Let's say theoretically that we are able to. Storm and Garrett, I'll open it up to you. If they win tonight and make it on to play the Astros with a trip to the World Series on the line, if they win tonight, will there be enough incentive for you to watch partial of a game, or will it take the World Series to pique your interest?
All right. I was just going to say, I'm probably not going to watch the World Series, so I guess I just hope that everyone has fun. Whichever team goes out there and has the most fun is going to win. And I think it's going to be the Indians. So Aaron Judge is too tall to have fun.
Well, I'll say that I actually watched one inning last night. Now I thought I believe his last name's Naylor when he hit the home run, how he rocked the baby. That was tough. That was cool. That was a really cool moment. That was swaggy. But I watched one inning and I got bored and I was like, I'm gonna go watch the Cowboys game. So I'm hearing more about it. It's kind of starting to pique my interest. So I think if they move on, I mean my dad likes it, so I'll probably tune in with him tonight. We'll watch a little bit of it together, but I'll probably turn on Monday Night Football in the end. But I'll give it an inning or two and see if it was, I think it was like 4-1 or 4-2 at the time, and it was kind of in the waning stages, and I was like, nah, that's not looking pretty good for him, so I'm just going to back out. So I'll probably tune in for an inning tonight.
Just back out. Yeah, I stopped him. Not really my scene. I'll see you guys later.
I think sometimes that can be the beauty when it is so prolonged that you can pop in and out of a baseball game. But yeah, so that's obviously a huge one tonight and could mean a lot. A trip to play the Astros with a trip to the World Series on the line. But Another thing I want to talk about just briefly to wrap things up for my portion of talking today was, you know, on the way in and a little bit this morning, I noticed a few of those pesky white flakes in the air. No, nothing substantial enough to stick, melt upon impact, but it has me thinking sometimes because, Garrett, you kind of took me away showing up to the game Saturday in shorts. So I kind of want to know. And then I feel like there's that stage in your life, too, where it's like back in high school and middle school, you got to play Mr. Tough Guy and wear shorts almost year-round. I don't know why as males as we think that, but when's the proper time, if there is one, to turn off shorts or shut down shorts while you're outside, let's say? Inside, if you have no plan to go outside, I have no problem with it. But if you're going outside, what's the right time, temperature to shut it down?
Depends on how long you're going to be outside. Like, if you're just going to work or, you know, going to do something. Like, I got shorts on right now, but I'm going to be inside most of the time during the day. So I think let's say if I was like going outside to work or, you know, do a game, like, I mean, I had shorts on until like 6:30, and then I put pants on because the sun went down and it got chilly. So I would probably say November, December. I wouldn't rock them outside unless like you're only out there for a little bit. But I'm a big guy, so I wear shorts because I got all this fat on my body. It keeps me warm. I don't need the clothes too. So
True. Yeah, it's like shorts weather pretty much all year round, I would feel like. Like Garrett said, it really depends on if you're going to be outside a lot. Like, I feel like we're notorious for wearing shorts all the time.
Yeah.
Like, especially when we're covering basketball, it's like, I mean, I'm only going to be outside for, like, 5 minutes, and then you're in that hot gym, so. I'd say there's never a bad time to wear shorts. And like Garrett said, unless you're working outside or something like that.
Any contrast to that answer?
Well, they pack a little bit more meat on the bones than we do, so I think that us skinnier guys tend to get the shivers that hit us a little bit harder than you. Now, I actually, too, I used to wear shorts every single day. I didn't own a pair of pants, I don't think, until 8th grade, until I finally was just like, all right, I think it's time to figure this out. I grew up. There's some cold winters out there in Colorado where I come from, too. So I've already put away all of my dressy shorts for the year. I did that probably 2-3 weeks ago, so that's done for me. But as far as, like, my gym attire, I don't like exercising in sweatpants. I don't really like sweatpants, really, period. So I'd be wearing shorts almost every single day, I would say. Just not when I go to work. I don't have that same mindset as these guys. But I still be rocking them, just not when I leave the crib.
I agree. I used to have that same mentality. I think I owned a pair of sweatpants and a pair of jeans, and that was it for years. Then kind of matured the wardrobe, but I just had to know, and I think the folks at home needed to know our answers to that.
that's a good question.
Yeah, appreciate that, Hayden. Well, I think the folks at home also, some of them are probably tuned in right now because Jesse Ryder doing an awesome thing with his news segment, The Soccer Locker, where he just broke down all of the playoffs and some of the potential matchups and kind of his predictions for what we can see moving forward. Always he got his top 5 teams of the week for the boys and the girls. And he rolled out a couple of weeks ago the goal of the week, and we let you guys, the fans of North Central Ohio and beyond, decide what was the best of the best. And after we totaled all of them up, this was the best goal that we saw last week on the OH.Report, and it is courtesy of Lexington's Will Perkins. A big goal here against Clear Fork, and you're going to see it one more time as it just beautifully put into the top part of the net there where the goalie just had no chance at it. But then there's the icing on top because we've got the little side flip. And I think that probably contributed to a lot of the votes that came in for Will. It's a solid goal all the way around. But when you can add a little bit extra sauce on the end with that side flip, not just anybody can pull off that thing. So, Will Perkins, you are a man amongst boys out there. Congratulations on being our winner for the goal of the week. Well, guys, yesterday I got up at 4 a.m. for an event that actually doesn't even take place until 1 p.m. And I had to do that because it's the only way to actually get a spot in the famed Muni lot out around Cleveland First Energy Stadium. So if you want to party like the big kids, and we did, you really do have to get up there by about 6 a.m. So I want to take about the next minute, go ahead and roll that video clip that we have just to basically say, Browns fans, thank you for continuing to party and to support the team who has not really produced a whole lot of wins. We've got a win percentage of just 30%.
since the team was reintroduced back to the greater Cleveland area since 1999, and I just saw so much ingenuity out there. Of course, there's always going to be food, there's going to be fun, there's going to be games. Everybody's trying to be an athlete out there. I've seen quite a remarkable number of games that I have not ever seen before, so great ingenuity all the way around, and definitely the RVs. There was about 30 of them in the Muni lot where custom craftsmanship that you're just not going to, they're going to be one of a kind, one of one. A lot of these people, they come out and they support the team every single Sunday for a home game. They'll even travel. I talked to a handful of Browns fans that are all making the trip up to the Buffalo game here in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be cold out there, and it's definitely going to be cold in Cleveland. So I just wanted to salute all the Browns fans for supporting, you know, I think arguably the most disappointing franchise in all of professional sports, but we keep the party going. So I was talking to my producer before the show. You know, at some point, I think that the players need to come out to the Muni lot after the game and just thank everybody for coming in and supporting, because there's very few happy endings. Did want to ask you guys each, though, have you ever taken part of not necessarily just a Browns tailgate, but just tailgating in general? Hayden, have you been a part of something like this?
I want to say senior year did a couple for some Kent State games when I was still in college. Obviously, it's not to this level. They were still fun, but I haven't done one at a Browns game for any reason. I've attended a Browns game, so I definitely think, though, you know, the phrase "misery loves company." I always, even as a Steelers fan, will give a salute. Like, that looks fun to me. Like, that would be enjoyable. Like, if that was a group of Steelers fans for me. I think it's still cool that despite that percentage, that many people still show out and have fun.
Do you guys have a favorite, like, tailgating game or food, G-Man?
Bratwurst. Probably bratwurst, I would say.
That's what I
probably
got
have to be up
most.
there. Yeah, that would probably be number one. Now, in terms of being a part of something like this, I went to a couple Minnesota games, and I was late getting to the tailgate, but it was still fun. It wasn't as packed as this, but I also think a lot of that was because they were all already in line. I literally walked by, and they were like, "Come party!" And I was like, "The game's this way." It's like, so I went over for like 20 minutes, and then I went and got in line. So, I mean, but I've heard of the Mooney lot, and I heard that, you know, the Browns fans, you know, it's poor guys, man. They take it week in and week out. I feel bad for them. And then, you know, they like to party. You can get down and partying, but they got to get their team to get some wins because they deserve it. But, yeah, shout out the Browns fans, man. They deserve it.
And it's not just the Muni lot. There are multiple parking lots that are just right in and around there. And me and my boys, we took a walk, and we checked out not all of them, but quite a few of them. And they're not all as much fun as the Muni, but they're definitely packed. There's so many people that come out there to, you know, get in the right mindset for the Browns game, because typically we all know how they end. So, looks like you got something for me? Oh. Wow, the producer Adam making
this
an
is
appearance?
history.
I actually have a question. You say you left at 4. When do these start, and how long do they go? Because I know the game's pretty long. So, like, when does, like, the last brownie say goodbye in the evening?
That's a great question. We didn't stick around to find out, and most people don't after a loss. And every time that I've tailgated for a Browns game so far, it's ended with the result of a loss.
Oh, that's
So I forgot my hat clearly. But when they win, I anticipate that the party continues out there. I do know this. The party was going on at 6 a.m. When we rolled in. There was at least several people, and some of them said that they were leftovers from the Guardians game last night.
Geez.
So that's pretty amazing, and that they were going to roll into the Guardians game again later that night. So I think that these things, they kind of go on for about 12 hours or so. Plenty of partying to go around. If only we could have a happy ending.
Poor guy.
My team won.
Well, I got one more topic of conversation for you guys before I go back into my misery hole, where I'll stay for a couple of days, and then I get over it, and we're back to partying again on Sunday. So it's really amazing how that works. But we had kind of a brief debate on the podcast. G-Man brought it up about the best quarterbacks in the league. So I was thinking to myself, what would my top 10 actually be? Because we had a really informal discussion. Nobody really had anything prepared. So this is just my quarterbacks for the year 2022 and what we've seen up to this point. Go ahead and roll them, and let's begin at number 10, where this guy's not used to being low on any quarterback list, but Aaron Rodgers. He's got kind of a less than stellar receiving corps. He's still thrown for 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. The Packers, I saw, had 6 drops yesterday, fellas. That's like a peewee
type of game. So it seems like they're still learning the offense a little bit, or at least trying to find their skill set. And the Packers, they're kind of leaning a little bit more on the run game and defense this year.
And they just lost to his only target that he actually trusts in Randall Cobb. So
Yeah.
I'd expect him to make a trade, to be honest, for a receiver.
Yeah, they definitely need to, so that Aaron, one of the GOATs, I think, at this particular position in the history of the league, can move up. Let's go to number 9. G-Man, it's your guy, Kirk Cousins. Hey, 5-1 speaks, baby. He's 8th in the league in passing yards and touchdowns, 66% completion. The only reason for me that I don't have Kirk higher on this list is that he's got the 3rd most picks in the league, and he almost fumbles every game statistically through his career. That's a crazy number.
Listen, I'll take 9 any day of the week, so I'm proud of this. Because I probably have it 9-ish, 9-8. So I'm proud. That means a lot.
You do have a top 10 quarterback. That is fascinating.
Yeah,
That's
it.
awesome,
I
man.
love
Good
it.
for you. All right, let's move on to number 8, and we're going with Joe Shiesty. He's over 7 yards an attempt, 67% completion. He's 4th in the NFL with 12 touchdown passes as well. And even though I think the Bengals are not going to be a playoff team this year, I think Joe Burrow's going to stay in the top 10 as a quarterback.
I think they make playoffs.
You like the Bengals for the playoffs?
Yeah, well, considering the Browns' slow start, Steelers' slow start, I think they make it in. They'll fight with the Ravens for that
Even
division.
though they lost to us.
True, week 1, though.
Jeez. Yeah, I know. I had to get that.
All right, number 7, I am rolling with Justin Herbert, guys. He got 10 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions and looking to win their 3rd straight tonight, kind of despite the injury that he's been battling through. So I do feel like he is a top 5 talent, but so far through the season, just sitting at number 7 so far. At 6, Travis Berardi's in the house. He's going to get a kick out of this. I'm going with Geno Smith. We're talking about averaging 8 yards per attempt. That's 3rd in the league, G-Man. 9 touchdowns. That's 8th. Just 2 interceptions. He only trails Josh Allen in QBR in the entire NFL among starters that have had 6 games
We're
under their
talking
belt.
about right now this year.
It's your list, Brian.
Listen, no.
Garrett keeps giving me flack because he drafted
Geno
Russell
Smith.
Wilson, and
Oh,
and Geno Smith is on their waiver wires, and he won't pick him up. It makes me so mad.
Wow.
No, 'cause I got Kirk now. So
But
we're
you
good.
wouldn't.
so
You
much
would
better.
not just pick up
I take
Geno
over
Smith.
Well, according to this list, you'd probably rather have Geno in your lineup than Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins.
Guys, enough with Geno Smith. Move on.
He's a
Well,
journeyman.
I got just
G-Man.
one more
He's
thing
a
about
journeyman.
Geno. He also has 125 rush yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. He's doing his thing.
He's had a good start to the season. But hey, but we're just 6 weeks in.
All right.
Just 6
This guy's
weeks,
got a lot
folks.
more than 6 weeks under his belt. We're going with Tom Brady at number 5. The Bucks just off to a 3-3 start. Tom's been taking a lot of flack. I seen he was getting beat up today on some of the national TV shows, but he's 4th in the league in yards, 2nd in completion percentage, has 8 touchdowns, just 1 pick, and he's got the 3rd fewest sacks among starters who have 6 starts so far in the year. So Tom Brady, even though it's not Tom Brady-esque play that we're used to, the dude is like almost as old as my mom, and he's still out there balling and doing a pretty phenomenal job. Just his team at 3-3. I think he's properly rated at number 5. I'm going with Jalen Hurts, though, at number 4. He's 7th in the league in yards, 6th in QBR, 6 rushing touchdowns, too. But, oh, by the way, they're the only undefeated team in football. It's a wins and losses type of league. So that's why I got Jalen slated in there at number 4. And then at 3, I thought that this guy, I had to talk myself out of putting him at the number 1 spot, but he's had 2 weeks consecutively where he wasn't as good as he rolled out of the gates. But I'm going with Lamar Jackson. Just nobody seems like they're doing more with less than this guy. He throws for 213 yards a game, has 13 touchdown passes. That's 3rd in the league. And then he's the 5th leading rusher in the entire NFL. So I think you actually could make the case that he's number 1.
I'm not gonna say that.
Garrett wants to say something.
No. What are they? 3-3?
They are.
I'm good. I'll let it be. We'll talk later.
The point is
Mr.
to talk
Cool.
now, I thought.
Well,
Mr. Cool.
The 3 losses, what they've had to lead every single time.
I think so.
Yeah, they've blown
Good
games.
QBs don't blow leads.
No?
All right, and then the
Wow.
top 2. I mean, these are pretty obvious, right? Because of the
goat.
head-to-head, I'm putting Patrick Mahomes now at number 2, over 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, and he's got the most 20-yard completions in the league with 20 of them. So even despite losing his top skill guy in Tyreek Hill, still putting up big numbers, but the number 1 quarterback in the NFL right now. I don't think that there's a whole lot of argument to be made. It's got to be Joshua Allen. This dude's unbelievable. He just knocked off the Chiefs yesterday in a big game. He jumped over a guy, by the way, too. 17 touchdowns, just 4 picks, 67% completion. He leads the league in pass yards, too, with almost 2,000 on the year. The Browns could have drafted him, and we didn't. What a shocker, right? All right, so of my top 10, what would be your guys' biggest, I don't know, disappointment? No Matt Stafford on here. He's been awful. Trevor Lawrence,
he's been horrible.
I think, is kind of a notable guy who's played really well until yesterday, and I left him off my list as well. Any big beefs? Maybe Geno?
I don't like Geno Smith up there.
I mean, we're talking 2022
Yeah,
in
he's
this
had a-
year's
he's had a good
statistics,
season,
G-Man.
but I don't think Geno Smith is better than Justin Herbert.
Yeah. You have to put the blinders on.
There's no
I know it's hard
comparison.
for you
That
to
is-
do.
that is a
I
bit-
get
that's
it.
a
It's
bit
hard, but
egregious.
this year,
Justin Herbert is worse than Geno Smith.
I think if we put
he's just ranking
resumes
them.
up
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
and no names, that you put Geno up there.
No, dude, there's no way. I mean, his stats have been good, but
What else do
If
you
we
want?
told you it was Kirk Cousins with the same exact numbers, we wouldn't have this
Kirk
conversation.
Cousins is nowhere near Justin Herbert.
No, I'm saying like
And Geno
Geno.
Smith
If we
is
swap
nowhere
their
near Justin
names
Herbert.
and
Those aren't even-
disguise Geno as
comparing
Kirk.
those is horrible. That's like a generational QB versus a journeyman backup who's got a shot with the Seahawks who've been drawing him up, a solid scheme.
It's just for 6 weeks. This
Yes,
is
I know.
man.
take the
I'm
guy
just
for
saying,
the rest
you
of
got
his
you
career.
guys wanted my gripe. I'm giving it to you. Geno Smith is not top 10.
What about you, Storm? Matt, about anything?
No, not really. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I like Geno Smith. I don't know if he's number 6, but I like Geno Smith, and I like what the Seahawks are doing this year.
I think had the Lions played yesterday and was able to statistically add to his numbers, Jared Goff's got pretty solid numbers.
Yeah, our offense is nuts. Like, our offense is kind of crazy.
Yeah, until they didn't score against the Patriots.
Until then.
Yeah.
But there's a couple teams that are having
Where's
problems
Cooper
with-
Rush?
No Cooper
Horrible.
Rush.
Yeah, no Cooper.
No Cooper Rush. No Jacoby Brissett. No Kenny Pickett.
I think Jacoby Brissett through 4 weeks probably would have been right on my fringe top 10. And he.
Yeah, no Russell Wilson.
He's been terrible.
Broncos Nation,
All
that's
right,
right.
that's my list. Everybody has theirs. Go ahead, let us know in the comment section if you've got any big gripes with my top 10. Well, let's go ahead and let's send it to an all-new edition of Talk of the Town, where we talk to athletes every single week and hear our little clips from all of our interviews with the local stars.
Hard work and dedication. You just gotta keep grinding and move on one game at a time. And I mean, it's a good game from Upper. They gave us a real challenge, but we came out with the W.
It means a lot. Going into tournaments, getting a good win against a good team, puts a lot of confidence in us going towards the tourneys.
So when you're in those opportunities and you're one-on-one with the keeper, I know that the success rate is really high. I think it's over 75% at the girls' soccer level. But for you, is there a little bit of nerves that creeps in a little bit? And then also, what is your strategy?
It's scary, yeah. I was always told that you have to imagine like nobody's watching you. So even after they blow the whistle, you have to take a deep breath and just relax and realize that like you're one-on-one with the keeper. Like there's so much open space and you just have to hit it.
So you and your team played a great game tonight. What were you most excited about?
I was most excited about how my running backs ran the ball. I was really impressed with them. My buddy Logan Shifley over there got player of the game from the Gridiron. He just ran the ball really good. Gabe Ivey, he ran the ball great. It was just a great game by them.
So for you individually tonight, you got the party started. You had the 2 big touchdown runs in the first half and then a couple more at the end of the game. How much fun is it on a night where, you know, that there's a lot of hoopla with the senior night thing? You got your parents out here. You're taken away a little bit from the warm-up. And to have a big performance like you did got to be very satisfying.
Oh, it's great. Coming out and putting on a show in front of the home stands, it's great. Senior night, do it all for the fellas, and they do it all for me. So I got to give out shout-outs to my linemen.
I mean, it's definitely been more competitive because, I mean, it's a great team and, I mean, it's fun to play well, but we always got to practice and make sure our minds are right for every match. And, I I mean, even on our worst days, we got to compete still. Oh, I mean, we've definitely bonded a lot from hotels, and I mean, it's been cool that because we've got 4 seniors, so it's been really cool that we've been able to make the state again, especially for all their last years, and I'm happy I could be a part of it.
How's it feel to knock them off after losing to them twice last year and do it in such a convincing fashion tonight?
Yeah, it felt good for sure. It was a little bit more than just a MOAC win, because obviously last year they beat us twice, once in the regular season, then again in the playoffs, so it was nice to get back at them tonight.
You're certainly a key cog in the offense and a very physical player. Describe to me how you would describe your playing style, because it seems like you've really mastered the art of using your body to the fullest maximum ability that you can.
Well, when you take it to the team, it really makes them break down. So I've noticed that if I really go in physical, start playing physical, that they'll slowly start to break down. And as I said before, the spaces and channels will come up. So if I start playing physical, they start to break down, then I can take those chances to finish.
We've had a lot of success, and it's been really fun. I started out as a freshman, and Matthew and Spencer kind of brought me up, and then we had some new freshmen come in my junior year, and I kind of like to think I brought them up a little bit, so it was really fun.
Yeah, we really just want to focus on making a deep run and sending our seniors out knowing they did something well for this community and the school.
I think we just had to stay calm because coming into this game, we knew it was going to be a battle. So we came in here, I mean, they had 11 wins, so, I mean, no team's not good at 11 wins. So we came in here, the second half, coach told us just stay calm and just play our game, and we'll come out to win.
We're starting to put like a full game together. We've struggled to do that, struggled in the second quarter here and there, but today was much better. We were able to fight back after they scored that touchdown and scored right before half, which that was awesome to see from our guys. So it's all coming around, and that 1-2 punch is pretty deadly.
What it took to come in here and defeat St. Paul. I know they kind of been hanging over the heads of Cressy, but you guys kind of broke that curse last season. What did it take to come on the road up here in Norwalk and get a big win?
I think it just took a lot of heart tonight. We knew they were going to come out hard. They wanted the win since we beat them last year 28-7, took the Violence Conference away from them, so they really wanted it tonight. It just took a lot of heart tonight.
Looking forward to the rest of the season, what is one of your attainable goals set forth?
I just want to finish on a high note. I love playing with my guys, and I'll take them no matter what. I just want to finish on a good note.
What's the story behind the backflip?
So the backflip, I learned it when I was in about 6th grade over at Madison, seeing people doing backflips on the playground, so I wanted to learn how. And then ever since this year, we started winning, and they're like, hit a backflip. So I started to do it every time we won. I'm feeling good. So
is Coach Bradley afraid you're going to get hurt, or is he encouraging it?
I don't think he's ever seen it so far. everyone, my girlfriend usually takes a video of it, and it's like it's an inside joke with us, and so.
So it might be the best kept secret until tonight, because we're going to show it. The backflip, it was really cool to see as you're coming off the field.
Man, all the kids be dropping backflips these days. I didn't realize that was so prevalent in high school sports. Just the big-time stars letting it be known. They're doing cool stuff. And then they hit them with the old backflip. All right, Storm Blunchley, I hear that you can probably do at least like a back handspring or something, right?
No, I can maybe do a somersault if I stretch properly. But no, my 5 minutes is going to be pretty relaxed. I'm
going to kick my feet up.
Honestly, yeah. And I know Adam literally just showed me what my topic or what order my topics are in, but I always forget. So just roll the first video, and I'll talk about the topic. We'll see what goes on. My memory's horrible. Oh, yeah. NBA starts tomorrow, actually. The Lakers play the Warriors at 10, which is like the game that everyone's talking about right now. So I just kind of wanted to take stock in who everyone has, your way too early NBA champion this year. So, wow. J-Man, we'll start with you, man.
Oh, no.
It's not going to be the Bulls, so I want the Lakers to win.
Oh,
wow.
So. Is that who you want to win or who you think will win?
Here we go. Mr.
They probably won't win. I don't know who will win. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me think.
Clippers, Warriors, Bucks,
Clippers are kind of a dark
Philadelphia.
horse. I would take the Clippers, but I really
Pelicans?
Shut up. I really want.
Whoa, what?
I really want LeBron to win one more, but we'll see. I would probably say Clippers. That's a good one.
Yeah. They have like the best roster coming into this year. That's what a lot of people are saying.
And I really like Paul George too, so I'm kind of a Paul George stan. So I'll take the Clippers to win it all.
You got who they're playing in the Eastern Conference? Think it's the Bucks? Think it's the Celtics? It's the Bulls?
Clippers, Bulls.
Clippers, Bulls, market. How many games?
4.
4! Getting
You
swept in the
are-
finals. Alrighty, Brian, who you got?
I think it's the Bucks championship to lose. They got the most dominating player, and they've got a lot of good veterans. When you look at the full roster that they're assembled, I'm pulling it up right now. I mean, they got like some pieces that may not be real flashy, but like Grayson Allen, Javon Carter. You got to like Pat Connaughton, George Hill, Drew Holiday, Serge Ibaka. I mean, these are all guys that are going to probably be coming off of the bench. Brooke Lopez as well, and then they got the 2 stars, the 2 all-stars in the lineup with Middleton and of course the Greek Freak. So I think health being always the consideration, if they can keep it together, they're definitely the favorite to win the East, and I don't care who comes out the West. If you got to try to guard 34, good luck.
You think it's 5 games then? Bucks versus whoever in 5?
Or
are you taking 4, like Garrett?
I kind of like the finals, so I'm going to go with 7.
7?
Just as a fan, because I want to see as much basketball as we can in June.
Alrighty, Hayden, who you got?
Well, it's going to be real easy for me. As much as I'd like to see LBJ win another chip as well, G-Man, and as much as it pains me to say it, until someone beats them, it's the Warriors championship to lose. And they would be my pick right now to win the finals, even against whoever would come out of the East. I don't know. Every year we think, and it is improving. The East is improving, but it has not caught up to what they do in Oakland and what they do with their rosters and who they bring in, and guys like Andrew Wiggins just go there and just become superstars again and turn draft picks like Jordan Poole into superstar. It's theirs. And until someone, it's going to take injury to take it from them.
Who you got in the East then, and how many games?
I would say Milwaukee could make it back again this year. I would say 6 games.
6 games? All right.
How are the Pistons going to win it? That's all I want to hear.
Pistons aren't going to win it. We're tanking again. We're tanking again, which I'm fine with. But I got the Warriors over the Brooklyn Nets in 7 games. So I got the Nets making a big comeback,
True.
man.
People forget.
Nobody picks Celtics. Poor Adam.
Yeah, sorry, Adam.
Well, they don't have their defensive head
He doesn't
coach
want our picks
guru
again this
anymore.
year. Yeah, he
so.
doesn't want us to root for him.
So I got the Warriors over the Nets in 7. And then we'll move on to my second topic, which I'm sure everyone has already heard about. Nacho fries back at Taco Bell once again. They are amazing. They got like this new tough sauce. It's truffle sauce. I haven't had that yet. You did.
Good. It's
No?
mid.
It's pretty mid?
It's mid. It's like a buffalo sauce kind of, but it's like. which I
Oh
love
my
buffalo
gosh,
sauce.
look at those nacho
Is it still
fries.
cheesy, though?
Yeah,
It's gonna be
So really
nacho
good
fries.
right now. I
yeah,
am
it's nacho
hungry.
fries,
Steak.
cheese, sour cream, steak.
That sounds amazing.
With the like buffalo sauce, but the buffalo sauce is weird. It's like
I get
sweet.
I get it without it, and I get mild sauce. But, dude, nacho fries are so good.
It sounds
They're hit or
absolutely
miss for
amazing
me.
right now.
So I just wanted to inform you
Oh, I
guys.
see. It's that whole dish right there.
Yeah, but it's upgraded.
Either way,
this time.
right?
Yeah. I just wanted to inform you guys that they're back.
They're
This is
hit or
good to
miss.
know.
They're hit or miss.
I like them all the time.
Well,
I've been on Taco Bell,
Yeah.
dude, recently.
They're like the kings of getting, like, they're back, and then we're going to take them away, then they're back.
You're kind of a hater.
No, it's just
A
it's
Taco
just,
Bell
they're,
hater.
They're hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get them and there's not enough seasoning on them, and then it's kind of like you're eating a potato. It's like I want the seasoning. That's why I came here, not McDonald's.
Same could be said about any fast food.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm
It's all
telling you
about
my
who's on
opinion
the
about it.
shift that day.
Man, I can't wait to get them after the podcast.
Now, if I may be so bold, I think the Arby's usually is the most consistent of
Dude,
the fast food
the Arby's
restaurants.
fries are fries
Yeah,
are pretty
Arby's is
good.
probably the most consistent. But, well, I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right.
I think I've only had nacho fries once lifetime. So clearly I'm missing
you're
out.
missing.
You're missing out, man.
They're better than just once in a life.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, for real. At least twice a week. But that's it. That's all I got.
All right, Storm.
Bring us up.
Now I think that we're going to throw it out to the Valley where Chavis caught up with Dave Carroll. Look, they got a good season going on. Chavis is actually back. He gave me a big smile. I think he's just happy that I picked a West Virginia guy to be in the top 10 for any lists. So let's throw it out to him, and he's in the Valley.
All right, Coach. You know what? The last couple of years, 1-4 2 seasons ago, in the COVID year, 6-4 last year, we, at least media-wise, figured that this could be a good year for you guys. Coming into this season, was that the thoughts for you guys that this could be a very special season?
Well, we can do the math that we had quite a few kids that started last year and that are seniors this year and juniors. And, some of those seniors started as sophomores as well. So when you have experience like that, obviously that lends itself to being good. Football's a man sport. I mean, it's hard to be really, really good as a freshman or sophomore just because you don't have all your man muscles and you're not at your greatest speed and all those things. Some kids are, but most aren't. But when you're a junior, senior, you're physically the best, as compared to those other years. So we had that going for us. The big thing with me, and a lot of people don't, maybe they can argue with this or what, but a lot of being good is character, football character. How hard you're willing to work. Are you going to sacrifice for your brothers? Are you going to be unselfish? Are you going to follow instruction? Are you going to be able to take criticism when you do things wrong? Are we going to have leadership? What are you going to do when things get tough? What are you going to do when you have a loss? And, those are all things that go into, having a special season. Those were unknown. And I think the first adversity that we saw was against Lucas. We're down and we had to battle back against a tough group of kids in that fourth quarter to win. And we got that thing, and then the next one was the very next week at Granville facing a good Division III team. We battled back again, almost. I know it doesn't count, but our kids showed grit and toughness, and that's what we're looking for. And then losing that game, we didn't pack it in. We didn't start blaming each other. We didn't blame the coaches that I heard of, at least from us, within these walls here. And we got back to work and let's go. We said it, we talked, I'll never forget, I said on Monday, there's only one goal that was taken away from us, 10-0. That was the only goal that was taken away. All those other goals that we have are still there. And so, early in the season, and over the summer and during 2 days, there's a lot of adversity too. And we put the hammer down on them. We wanted to see, we wanted to test them. What are you guys made of? And and they've passed all those tests. So going into the season, we thought there's potential, but that doesn't always, potential doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It's just what you do with that ability you have, that potential you have, and so far so good. And hey, now let's say you're in a championship game. What do you got now? Can you handle the big spotlight? What do you got?
Yeah. This is always known as a defensive-minded squad. Only 2 games you've given up more than 3 scores, and in both those games you won. Just how much do you guys pride yourself on this defense this season?
Well, there's been times throughout the season where I have not been happy with our defense, and really until the past 2 weeks, I wasn't satisfied that we were playing where we needed to play. Even though the points were pretty good, but the yardage, some of the running that was going on against us, I wasn't real happy about. And I think last week against Harding, they have some great running backs, man. Those guys are fast, and the quarterback can run. And to shut them out, nobody else has shut them out this year. And that was when I kind of put my foot down, coached up, just like, hey, we need to quit messing around. We let Pleasant score 21 points on us and run the ball on us. That's not us. That's not Clear Fork defense. And we challenged them, and they stepped up. And then of course, this past week with Shelby, what a great performance, tremendous performance. So I think we're getting the defense where it needs to be. But we take pride in it. Hey, it's Clear Fork. Anybody that's played at Clear Fork or played against Clear Fork knows that through the years, we have prided ourselves on hitting people and being tough and not allowing people to run the football on us. And we want to continue to make Coach Beal proud. We all played for Coach Beal, and he's one of the toughest football coaches I know.
And finally, you're going to go up against the area's leading rusher in Dane Nauman on Friday for a MOAC championship. What's it going to take to contain him and come out with a trophy?
Well, it's got to be team football, team defense. 11 guys to the ball, and you got to tackle. I mean, this kid makes people miss. He's a Division I talent. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. And if you hit him up high or you stop your feet or go to your knees, he's going to make you look silly. And you got to get everybody there. It's got to be everybody. We might have to bring a couple guys off the sideline to help tackle that guy. But no, just kidding. But you got to get there. You got to play assignment football, be where you're supposed to be, and then you got to tackle and get as many people on him because he's kind of superhuman. I mean, you watch him play, he looks like that kid back when you're in elementary school that might be a couple years older than everybody else out there on the playground, just running roughshod. When you're playing football or whatever it is you're playing out there. I mean, that's what he looks like. He looks like a college player playing against high school kids.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on Friday night, and hopefully you get a championship.
Thank you.
All right, Coach.
And then let Dave talk. Is here with us.
That's 3. This is going to be a big game for Clear Fork. I mean, that defense going up against Dane Nauman. Yeah, that's MOAC championship and maybe 2 home games. I'm actually working on bracket stuff. We got a show on Sunday, too, as well. They'll break everything down. But looking like Clear Fork with a win has a possibility of getting 2 home games. Also in that region, West Holmes already, no matter what. Even if they lose, they're getting 2 home games. But, yeah, Colts really excited. Victor Skoog, the GOAT, as Storm would say. They're all ready to go, and it should be a great one down in Highland on Friday night. But I'm going to get back to Lenardying it up, and you guys have a good rest of the show.
Yeah, I'm glad Travis brought that up. At 11 o'clock on Sunday, before your guys' NFL kicks off, we are going to have a bracket special breakdown right here on the OH Report. We're going to get coaches to call in. We're going to show you all of the different brackets for the regions that we're going to be covering personally here on the OH Report. So you can check out me and Travis on that, and there's going to be tons of goodies. It's going to be a lot of fun, and of course always you, the fans, are able to chime in with some questions for the coaches or me and Travis throughout. So definitely look forward to doing that with Mr. Berardi Lenardy on Sunday. But for now, let's get back to the pod and turn it over 5 good minutes with Garrett Parlett, who's still steaming a little bit about Geno Smith.
Yeah, we'll just move on from that. I've had enough talking about Geno Smith for the day. I didn't know I was going to come in here and talk about Geno Smith, but I'll move on to a couple topics I want to talk about. It's actually just one, but there's a couple questions in there for you guys. Cressy's big win over St. Paul. This is where I got to go with this one.
Over the footage.
No, yeah,
I know. I just meant, we forgot.
Yeah, you can roll whenever you want to. Yeah, just highlights from the game. But I think for Cressy coming in, my biggest question for them was when they were going to be able to face adversity. They haven't done it all season so long, and they kind of got punched in the face. Hayden, you were up there with me calling the game, and they had a big return, to start things off, and then the quarterback from St. Paul, Kuhn Lee, would take it in for a touchdown and start the St. Paul Flyers off the way that they wanted to. I mean, I think if you'd ask Coach John Livingood how would they want to start, it would be that way. They started fast. I mean, they got out to the gates. But Cressy, they showed why they're a dominant team for a reason. Raymer and Barker are walking mismatches. Raymer is lining up at wide receiver where Hayden Kuhn. Anyway, Addison Raymer is lining up at wide receiver, and he was, given the safety and DBs, all that they could ask for. And then you just take a look, Owen Barker. Not only can he line up, a defensive line tight end at fullback, he can also line up a punter, Hayden, and toss a touchdown pass. So my biggest question for you, and you can roll the next one, Adam, the next clip here. More impressive season so far, the West Home Knights or the Cressy Cougars? I'll let it marinate a little bit. I'll go over some of their impressive wins for both sides. For West Holmes, they beat Ashland, who's 5-4 on the season, 63-39. They beat Mansfield Senior, big win. They're 7-2, 37-7. And then their next best win, record-wise, is over Orville, who's 5-4, and they demolished them 51-14. For Cressy, their best wins are 6-3 St. Paul. They beat them 26-7. 4-5 Lucas, 31-6, and 7-2 Highland, 37-17. So I'll give it up to you, Hayden. I'll let you go first and kind of start things off.
Well, yeah, I'll say a few words about that game on Saturday night that we were at. Like you said, it's tough. Cressy really hasn't had one of those moments where right off the rip, St. Paul in their hostile environment came out, struck first, scored first, and that's kind of the difference maker, I think, between a lot of good teams and what makes you great. You can play really good and not get checked for a long time, not having to play another substantial opponent, and they finally – not that anyone they haven't played, like, respect to someone like Lucas this year in Highland, but they completely responded to it and shut them down the rest of the night, and I think kind of displayed that wasn't an easy win against an easy team. They just really did an excellent job. So we obviously know both these teams having such great seasons. Man, it's tough.
There's no wrong answer on this one at all.
It's tough. I think they have pretty comparable in terms of their opposition. They have, about two or three other solid wins.
Yeah.
West Holmes may get a slight edge just because of size of schools they play. I don't know if I can confidently give an answer yet, though. I'm going to need till, I don't know, the postseason. Yeah.
Brian?
I'm going to give it up for West Holmes because of the way that they're dominating opponents. They've only been held under 50 a couple of times this year. Look at some of the numbers that they've dropped. 60-7. They just put 60 points on a new Philadelphia team that I think was holding opponents to less than 3 touchdowns a game. So they tripled that. They put 63 on Ashland, 56 on Worcester, 37 on Mansfield Senior. They've had a running clock in every single game. In my opinion, Crestview has had a more challenging schedule, but they haven't looked like West Holmes has looked, where at halftime, I think there's been a running clock in all of their games to start the third quarter so far. So the Knights truly are a state championship contender. I don't know that I would make that same argument for Crestview.
I'm going to go with West Holmes, too, I think. Just like how Brian said, the mannerism of how they've been doing it. They have been absolutely dominating teams left and right. Crestview has good quality wins, but even if they are blowouts, I think a lot of the scores have been a lot closer than what the score will tell you. And with West Holmes, it's just been blowout after blowout after blowout. Like, they have just been running through teams. And even a little bit to touch on what Hayden said, it really does kind of depend on size of school as well. Like, they're playing some real big dogs here. So I'm going to give this slight edge to West Holmes, but still got to give love to my Crestview Cougars.
I was also going to pick West Holmes, but I'll just be different.
Yeah,
I'll pick Crestview here, and I think that we talk a lot about their offense, but I think their biggest strength is their defense. Their front seven, to me, is one of the best in the area. I think West Holmes is obviously up there, too. The most they've allowed this season is 17 to Highland, and that last touchdown from Dane Nauman was with about 30 seconds remaining. It was a garbage time touchdown that didn't matter. So really the most that they've allowed is 12 to Western Reserve, who sits at 5-4. I think they play Mapleton on Friday night, their biggest rival, I guess, technically in the Firelands Conference. They sit at 6-3, so Mapleton's still a solid team, and they've had a good year so far in the Firelands Conference. I don't know if, some of the opponents in the OCC and that West Holmes is playing, they're pretty tough competition, but they play 1-8 Mount Vernon. We fully expect them to win that game. So Crestview, there's no wrong answer in this one, but they've had a dominant season. West Holmes as well. So I'll go with the Cougars. I think, responding to what they did last season and to be able to do it again, it makes you a good team when you can do it the first time, but it makes you a great team when you can continue to do it year in and year out. They knocked off St. Paul for the first time in a decade last season. They did it again, and I love that they did it on the road, too, in the fashion they did. So I'll give the nod to the Cougars, but yeah, that's all I got today, boys.
I didn't realize that they had only allowed 17 as the most points all year. That's a pretty valuable statistic to be able, if you're going to keep opponents to 2 scores or less, you're going to win a crap ton of games.
Stat, they only allowed 9 points a game, and they scored 38.
Wow.
So big margin there for the Cougars.
Yeah, both of
and
those teams are impressive.
What was it we were talking about Saturday night before the game too? Just turnovers as well. Hayden Kuhn really
I think
limits.
He has 1 interception.
Yeah, on the season.
They don't turn it over very often.
They're kind of different too. Their play style was a little bit different. I think we picked up on
Saturday. They changed it up a lot Saturday. They took Raymer out of the backfield, which is a good wrinkle to have heading into postseason play. Now, he played wide receiver last season, so he
knew it.
He knows what to do out there. I like them doing that and giving the ball to Hayden Kuhn. He's kind of been overshadowed this season by Raymer and some of that rushing attack in the defense and Owen Barker. But Kuhn, one of the solid QBs in the area, I like to have the ball in his hands in late game situations. And I think this is the biggest play to me, where he's, eyes are still downfield, stops on a dime right before the line of scrimmage and throws a dart to Bryce Perkins. So both teams, West Holmes and Crestview, are phenomenal. Best teams in the area by far.
Hayden Kuhn might be the quarterback in the area that I trust the most to go get a win. To be honest, I love him, but Mason Wolf probably right behind him over there at West Holmes. He probably just got a few better weapons to throw it to. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and throw it to the viral videos that you need to see. I'll go ahead and kick off the festivities. Did anybody watch the Alabama and Tennessee game, or at least see highlights of it? All right, so it came down to a game-winning field goal, and I'm told after the game, the kicker, this is what it looked like right outside of his dorm room. Check this out. So here it comes. Look at this flat-out rush dog pile to try to get in there and just get a piece of this kid. That's a lot of ladies lining up, and the most eligible bachelor, of course, down there in Knoxville. No, obviously this isn't really his dorm room, but when I saw this video, and that's what they actually had it labeled as, and this was starting to go miniature viral. It had like 3 million views when I last seen it. So I wonder what this actually was. Like, what are these girls all running in for?
Be some...
Like, was it free makeup? Like, what's going on here?
Some kind of deal, something. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot.
Look at the first place finisher, too.
I know.
Yeah.
She had some wheels.
She was moving.
Yeah, this is overseas, so it's not even in the United States. But I'm guessing that this is probably similar to what it looked like outside of that kicker's dorm room. Pretty awesome. That's all I got.
Mine's also about that game, Brian.
Oh,
mine's
nice.
also about Tennessee and Alabama, but mine is not real. So we should go ahead and roll mine.
So my video actually has more credibility for being real than yours?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Mine is not. Mine is a video game, NCAA, and here we go. So an Alabama fan had to take it out on the Tennessee Volunteers for that game. Now, I see these a lot, and I couldn't actually imagine putting this many points and still continuing to do it. So,
holy cow.
I mean,
No, that's dedication, man. That's
32 after
like,
the
how long are
touchdown.
these quarters?
You
They'd
can't
have
even
to be.
you can't even sim to get to that either, though. So like, that's true dedication.
Yeah, I could not do that. So you had to let off some steam. Understood. I kind of feel that way after a loss to my favorite team too. But I don't know if I'm that dedicated.
Like, how is the cornerback just all of a sudden 30 speed though?
It's got to be like some slider cheese.
Yeah, there's some cheese.
It is also NCAA football like 14 though. So like back then, like
it was just
Tennessee
cheese
was
it was
play.
just cheese
bad,
play. Like,
yeah,
you could just
yeah.
play. You run PA boot and then press B and lob it.
Yeah, it was
every
money.
time.
all
All
I
right,
got,
we
boys.
can do mine next. Mine's pretty silly. Pretty silly video about dog. So you're supposed to never use a mop in Ohio because I guess it looks like this. Those dogs are crazy
They are.
with the hair like that.
I can't even see. It's like little
No,
face.
you can't even see its mouth, nose, anything.
It's a mop.
That's called a mop.
No, but it is a mop.
Oh, well, I know.
Yeah, they like
I didn't know if
nickname
it was
dogs.
like the actual term of it.
But that was mine.
So if you let the dog in the house with the snow on it and just let it run around, it probably does do a pretty remarkable job of
Spray some
sparkling
pledge
the
on
floor.
the floor and have it
Honestly,
go around,
yeah.
yeah. Commodore. Okay.
Mop.
Yeah,
All right,
next.
Aiden, go ahead.
Oh, we should have saved that for the last because Storm always brings something silly or cute or funny. Mine's pretty intense though. Let's check it out. I was scrolling through Instagram or TikTok this morning. I've never seen this variation of sports combined together, and the athleticism that it requires blew me away. And someone will score a point here. This team with the red and black stripes, but I mean, I don't even know if I could just simply kick the ball over the table.
That's unreal.
The dexterity to get your leg up that high.
It says this is the bronze match. So, I mean, if I'm assuming if it's the
gold.
same tier, yeah, what's the gold look like? So, I was blown away by that. It was definitely share-worthy to me.
You know what it's called?
It says something right there. Tech ball, TO ball, one of the two.
My
Got a crowd
mother,
for it, too.
actually, it was probably about a month ago, she asked me if I had seen this, and I had not. I didn't know what she was talking about. She said she called it foot volleyball on a tennis table.
It's a good
Yeah.
description.
Yeah, that's probably
Now I see, Mom.
the simplest way.
Yeah, this is sweet. No chance that any of us would be able to get your leg up that high to be able to drop it down and get it over the net. Wild. And these are the third place finishers.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, guys. That's all we got for you on the OH.Report video podcast today. Always a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys chiming in, giving us some votes, and just some feedback in general. So we got the playoffs coming up this week for volleyball, as well as boys and girls soccer, and then a big week 10 of football as well, where we put a bow on the end of the regular season. So we're not going to drop a schedule for you yet. We don't really know what we're going to be covering. We got to find out who wins here in the area and who moves on. So we're just going to say sayonara for now, and peace out till the next one.